Scientifically speaking, we're sharing the view. From labs to clinics, breakthrough shining through. With minds that inspire and stories to unfold. Scientifically speaking, the future's being told.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Scientifically Speaking with Christine on Oz Arab Media. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic that affects many, cancer care. While conventional treatments like chemotherapy and radiation are essential, many patients seek additional support to manage side effects, improve well-being, and enhance their quality of life. And this is where Integrative Oncology comes in. Joining us today is Ghada El-Semaani, a highly experienced naturopathic practitioner specializing in integrative oncology. With nearly 2 decades of experience, Ghada brings a unique combination of expertise in naturopathic medicine, counselling, NLP, hypnosis, Reiki, and remedial massage, all designed to help cancer patients navigate their journey with greater comfort and resilience. Ghada, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Ghada, let me start with the very first question. What led you to specialize in supporting individuals with cancer?
Well, because as a naturopath for 20 years, actually more than 2 decades,
Right.
I realized that when I had cancer patients, they didn't have what it takes in terms of support, knowledge, everything that they needed while they're doing their journey. So as a result, they actually ask, why don't you do that so that you can help more people? And that's the only reason.
That's very interesting. Many people might not be familiar with what's integrative oncology. If you don't mind, explain to us what it is and how it works alongside conventional cancer treatments.
See, regular traditional oncology is like chemotherapy, radiation, and recently immunotherapy. But most of them, the majority is very taxing for the body and very aggressive. So in order to kill the cancer, they are killing the immune system, the energy, a lot of stuff. So it comes natural medicine here. It comes in and kind of support the individual and making sure that we take care of the rest of the person, not just, because
The
oncology
treatment
is
itself.
addressing the cancer itself and not everything else of the person, where we come in and look at the person holistically and we support them so they have minimum side effects and maintaining their immune system and all of that.
Amazing. Going through cancer treatments comes with a range of challenges, like you mentioned at the beginning. What are some of the most common side effects that patients experience, and how does naturopathic treatment help them manage it?
Well, the majority of cancer patients feel like they have lack of energy. They feel they have what they call chemo brain, which is forgetting a lot. They have peripheral neuropathy, which is numbness on their hands and their feet. They have mostly they feel that sense of malaise and they're not able to enjoy life, everyday life.
Right.
So yes, it is, the conventional treatment is addressing the cancer, but what about the rest of the person?
That is true. You take a personalized approach to cancer care. What are some of the key elements you consider when creating a support plan for a patient?
So when people come in to see me, because I have a program called Cancer with Care,
Right.
I find out exactly their strengths and what they want out of this, because each person is unique. So you will look at how can you help them to achieve what they want, and accordingly, we will create and package their program.
That is interesting. All right. You mentioned that many cancer patients feel lost and overlooked. How does your approach help patients regain a sense of control and empowerment?
Well, when you are in cancer care, in a cancer journey, you feel like nothing is in your control. You feel like it's very hard for you to do anything. You're kind of pushed and like you are in a stampede kind of thing.
Oh.
So giving something back, giving that control, putting that patient back in the driving seat, even the things that we can control, that enough will make a big difference on their journey. And once they feel they are in control, magic happens.
That's true. So you work really more on counseling or on the psychological side of the patient?
It's I use their psychology and how they think and what's their strengths to help them. But the cancerous care program is more big. So I work on the psychology. Yes, I work on counseling. Yes, but I also work on their nutrition, on their supplements, and also I do a lot of hypnosis because the unconscious mind is the big person. Is like 90% of your brain is your unconscious mind. So imagine if you can wake up that sleeping giant and recruit it to your advantage, magic happens.
Wow, hypnosis is a topic for another day. I'm really interested in that one. You did mention nutrition plays a big role in the overall health, and especially it's critical for cancer care patients. What are the specific foods or dietary changes that can help support individuals after treatment?
Okay. You said after treatment?
Yes,
or during?
Yeah.
Because
During and after?
Yeah, because while you are doing cancer treatment, it's different than when you're doing after. So when you are having cancer treatment, so what happens is there is a lot that we can do in terms of nutrition because there are foods that will feed cancer and fuel it, and there are food groups that will actually support us so it doesn't grow and open shops in all over the body. So it's important to know this while you're going through treatment to help your chemotherapy or radiation or whatever.
So after treatment, those foods might change?
Yes, but it's better because once you finish your cancer, most people actually feel exhausted and trashed, like it's hard for them to bounce back. Right. So then we give them the food that will nurture and restore. Whereas when we're doing that, we're more focused on what will not support cancer to grow, but what support cancer to be suppressed. Yeah.
That is very interesting. Fatigue and digestive issues are also another common side effects of cancer treatments. What are some practical strategies that you use to help patients manage these symptoms?
Well, when it comes to fatigue, I think it's the main reason why people come in and see me. It's no one actually come and say, hey, can you fix my cancer? Because I don't.
Yeah.
But what I do is I support all of these things. And the biggest one is fatigue. So imagine you are alive a little bit longer because of the treatment, but you are too tired
to live that life.
So this is why it's important that we focus on that and we make it so that people can live every day and create more memories.
Lovely. What role does lifestyle such as stress management, sleep and exercise play in support cancer patients? And what adjustments can make this biggest difference?
Okay, so statistics tell us that people who do all of these things can actually have 50% improvement on their outcome. That's massive. So if you know that if you do that little bit of exercise and you know that you're eating well and you're doing these relaxation techniques and all of these things that you can do, it helps you so much. So then the outcome is that you are back not fully to where you started, but you will be in a better shape than the average person next to you.
And I believe not only cancer patients, everyone who can manage their stress can live longer, hopefully. You also have a background in counseling, like we mentioned, NLP and hypnosis. How do you use these techniques to help cancer patients cope with stress, fear, and emotional challenges?
Okay. So in my program, I have, with every module, I have a hypnosis. And the reason for that is every time you do hypnosis, you actually give your unconscious mind strength to you recruit that unconscious mind to actually give you what you want. So in other words, if we can connect the two together, the mind, body, spirit, it actually makes a huge difference.
Wow, that's amazing. Cancer doesn't just affect the person diagnosed. We all know that. It impacts their entire family and friends. How do you support families and their caregivers in this journey?
Okay, so also part of my program is that I make sure that the carers are not the invisible soldier in the process, because most of the time the carers are the one who do everything, and they're exhausted, and sometimes they walk in with the patient, they're more exhausted than the patient themselves. So it's important to actually make sure that they are sorted and they are taking care of themselves.
Mentally only, or
Everything,
everything as well, just stress
diet-wise.
management and all that.
And because there is part of cancer that is a bit of hereditary, so most of these people are family
They're
members.
passing it on.
So you don't want to for them to be, crumbling while they're caring for their loved one.
So what advice do you have for someone who wants to support a loved one with cancer but doesn't know how?
Yeah. It's very easy. First of all, please do not coerce them into anything that they don't want to do.
Oh,
That's one. The second is you make sure that you ask them, because they're the boss at the end of the day, and ask, what do you want me to help you with? What is it that you want me to do? So it can be going shopping on their behalf. It can be making them a fresh, really meal, coming home. Anything that will take off their daily chores would be wonderful. And you don't have to give them any advice, really. Just be present. They don't want your solution. They just want you to be there.
Emotional
And don't treat
support.
them and don't treat them anything different. Just treat them like if they're your friend, treat them like you normally do. And if they're your family, treat them like you normally do. If they feel vulnerable on that day, allow them space to feel being listened to and hugged and loved, but don't advise, please.
yeah, sure. That I'm sure it has a big impact negatively. They would feel the pity, I do know some cancer patients that they just don't want to look into your eyes because they don't want to feel this pity. What do you have
It's
a comment about
important,
that?
again, that you don't treat them any different. And, you're not really helping them by feeling pity. To be honest, in my experience, they're the strongest people I've ever met.
They are indeed. In addition to naturopathic medicine, you incorporate Reiki, massage, and timeline therapy in your practice. How do these therapies support cancer patients?
I don't do massages anymore.
All right.
But what I do is I recommend people to do massage, specifically lymphatic massage, because it helps in the lymph movement.
Distressing, yeah.
And not just distressing. Lymphatic is moving the fluid in the body. So when you do, say someone had a surgery, like you probably see them on the street where they have a lymph that is large,
Yes.
because when they did their surgery, they remove some of the lymph nodes. So when that happens, they need to have an ongoing lymphatic system massage, and that's important. But the other stuff, yes, Reiki is lovely. It's energy healing, and they feel really nurtured and cocooned in love and light, so that's lovely.
Amazing.
And in terms of hypnosis, you asked, what was a...
Yes, hypnosis, timeline therapy.
Timeline therapy is actually part of the neurolinguistic programming, and it helps in going back in time with the patient. It's like a Back to the Future thing.
So it is similar to hypnosis somehow.
And it's not. No one is hypnotized, really. So people actually have that stigma about hypnosis.
Yeah.
No one is hypnotized. Think about it as active imagination.
Oh, okay.
So with timeline therapy, what you do is you go with them to the past and see what is the root cause of cancer, what happened in their past that made them lead to cancer. And then we come in and we're not really changing the past, but we're changing how we see that event. And that helps so much.
That's awesome. Some people are skeptical about complementary therapies. How do you ensure that the treatments you recommend are evidence-based somehow and safe to use alongside medical care?
See, I am actually all for being skeptical, because if you go and self-medicate and choose supplements from a chemist or health food store while you're going through cancer, you might actually cancel your treatment.
Oh.
So it's important to know how to do it, and with someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
very
professionals
important.
lead the way.
So that's why when you come into an integrative oncologist or naturopath who is specialized in cancer, we know exactly when to give you the supplement so that we're not canceling the treatment. So it's very important. This dance has to be done really, really well studied. You cannot just say,
haphazardly, I'm taking this.
I'm taking supplement, because, despite that, you are taking something healthy if you are healthy, but if you have cancer, it might actually cancel that chemotherapy session that was enduring and very uncomfortable. So you might as well know exactly how to play this game.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the biggest myth about naturopathic support for cancer patients that you'd like to debunk today?
Yeah, most people wait until they finish their treatment to come in and see us.
Oh.
And that is not good, because what they say is once we finish, like it's mostly advised by the oncologist, is that wait until you finish. And the reason why they say that, because they know that if you're going to self-medicate, you're going to have that counseling process.
Oh, okay.
But if you are knowing what you're doing, then that's not going to happen. So ideally, you can start while you're having your treatment to actually minimize the damage on the immune system, because if that's gone, it's very hard to replenish back.
Yeah, that's interesting. The field of integrative oncology is growing. How do you see the future of cancer care evolving in terms of combining both conventional and holistic care?
Well, that would be a dream, but like there are countries where this is happening. Okay, in Australia, more and more regular oncologists are open to what we're doing, and they are, like all of my patients are tell their oncologists, because it's mandatory for them to know that they're seeing me, so that we are networking together. For example, I had a patient where she was meant to have a chemotherapy session. And when I looked at her blood, because I do also live blood analysis, so when I looked at her blood, I thought that she doesn't have enough white cells to go through the treatment. So I've asked her to delay it for 2 weeks. And then when she went there and she said, well, my naturopath is concerned about this, they looked at her blood and said, oh, that she's right. So we might as well.
Teamwork does a great job, isn't it? That's great. But if someone today listening and they have been diagnosed with cancer and is feeling overwhelmed, what's the first step they should take in seeking holistic support?
Okay. Please don't play Russian roulette with your life. That's very important, that you know that there is help, that I've done all the research, that I'm up to date with everything that's happening. Contact me. You have nothing to lose. You can do the program, you cannot do the program, and if you don't, we're not a fit, I can give you some step to do, but this is not something that, you know, what can I have for breakfast? It's more complicated than that.
Right.
So please, your life is far more worth it than anything else. Come and see me.
You brought us to the very next question that we're curious about. Where do we see you? Where do we find you? How you can help?
Well, I'm actually, I am online. I serve the whole world, not just Australia or New South Wales. And my program is called www.cancerwithcare.com. So it is part of my Tree of Life Naturopathy. So that is a program that is under that main umbrella. And, you know, just sign in or come in and see the webinar and see where that takes you, and you won't regret it.
That is awesome. Well, I think whether you have cancer, you passed through it or not, it is worth doing naturopathic. Thank you so much for sharing such valuable information with us today. We are looking forward to have you hopefully again dig deep more into some topics. Would you like to say something before we conclude?
Well, thank you, Christine. That was lovely.
Of course.
Very smart questions.
Thank you.
I think that you really did think hard in those questions.
Thank you. We're trying to think on behalf of our listeners and viewers and see what they want to ask, hopefully how curious they are, and go through that.
And if anybody has questions, you know, you can look me up at cancerwithcare.com or at cancerwithcare on Instagram or Facebook. Please don't be shy, ask questions, and I'm happy to help.
Amazing. And if you couldn't find Ghada for any reason, you can contact us, Arab Media, or myself, and we're happy to lead the way and connect you guys. Well, stay strong, think, see how you need to help yourself to strengthen and empower yourself, and see you again in another episode. Take